Canning pinto beans is one of my favorite ways to not only preserve them, but prepare them for a meal. It makes them super easy to mash up into refried beans. Also makes it easy to add them to soft taco or burrito mixes, or even throw them into a chili or a soup. And it's really easy. I start by washing off my pinto beans. So I'll put them in a colander. And then I'll take them to the sink and give them a good rinse. Usually I just leave these in the sink and work right beside the sink, but for the video we'll do it like this. Some people will leave the beans to soak overnight, and you can do that if you want to, but I've found this works just fine as long as you don't do any more than 1 cup of beans. In fact, I tend to scoop up a cup of beans and then kind of lightly go into it, so just shy of 1 cup. If you do more than that, then it becomes bean cement in your jar and is excessively hard to get out. Now, if you're doing refried beans, you could maybe get away with doing something like that a little, but I just stick with my just shy of 1 cup worth of beans. I'll put that in the bottom of each of my quart-sized jars, and I'll add 1 teaspoon of salt to each of my jars. This not only preserves the beans, but it also gives them good flavor. There's sometimes where I'll put a soup base in there with it, or a bouillon instead of the salt. If you have salt restrictions, you can always omit that, it's optional. The final step is to add hot water up to the 1-inch headspace mark. Headspace is the space from the top of the food to the top of the jar. Then I'll use a chopstick to debubble my jars. This just gets any trapped bubbles out from in between the beans. It's not really that much in this instance, but it's a good idea to just be in the habit of. Then I'll wipe off the rim of my jars with a clean damp cloth so that it gets a nice seal. And I'll place my lids and rings on until they're fingertip tight. I'm using some American-made lids today. These are actually my new favorites. They're made by Superb, and they have this super thick, spongy seal. It's blue. It's kind of fun that way. So it's super squishy, and then they have the coating on there to make it so that it doesn't rust. They're like, I just like the quality so much better. I was actually able to get a 20% off discount code for you, so that's in the description below. I'll prepare my canner by adding 3 quarts of hot water. And then I'll place in my jars and lock on my lid. I'll then process it in the pressure canner for 90 minutes at 10 pounds of pressure if I'm at sea level. I'm at 1,200 feet, so it'll be 11 pounds of pressure. And then I'll place it on the stove on medium-high heat until it begins to vent. After the venting begins, I'll set the timer for 10 minutes. Now that it's vented for 10 minutes, I'll place my weight over the vent and the pressure will start to rise. I'll watch my gauge, and once it gets past 11 pounds of pressure for me, that's when I'll set my timer for 90 minutes. If at any point during that 90 minutes it drops below the 11 pounds of pressure, then I need to restart my timer. But I don't really want it to go up much past 15 or so, because at that point it starts to lose too much liquid. So usually my goal is to keep it somewhere in between 11 and 13 or so, but you have to stay kind of close to it. You'll get so that you know how your canner and your stove work together. Each canner is a little bit different, as well as each stove, and then eventually it gets easier. Now that my timer's gone off, I'll turn off the heat and allow the pressure to drop naturally. Now that my pressure dial is down to 0 and my pressure indicator is down, I'll remove the weight. And that's a good idea to do because it's kind of a safety thing. If there was any pressure still in there, it would come out of the vent at that point. And then I unlock my lid and I turn it, lifting it away from me, and take it off. Now I'll allow that to cool for 10 minutes before removing my jars. I then remove my jars from the canner and space them about 1 to 2 inches apart on a heat-resistant surface. I'll allow them to remain there for 24 hours so that they can get a good seal. I can tell that they have a good seal if the center of the lid has depressed down. Then I remove the ring, wash them with hot soapy water, and store them in a cool, dry, dark location like my pantry, and use them in the next 1 to 3 years. If for some reason any of them didn't seal, I would put them in the refrigerator and use them right away.